He's got his head.
Second.
He's got a choke. He may be trying to pry it off. It's all over.
A new UFC light heavyweight champion of the world.
He is the Michael Jordan of MMA, the most dominant fighter the world has ever seen, and arguably the most controversial figure in combat sports history. Love him or hate him, you can't deny that Jon Jones is the most complete fighter that ever stepped in the game. Gifted with size, speed, technique, unmatched reach, and all that supported by an incredible fighting IQ that no other fighter has. He has been the pound-for-pound king for years, the youngest champion in UFC history, who went through a tapestry of legal woes, doping scandals, and personal demons that threatened to eclipse the brilliance of his athletic prowess. We will take a deep dive into Jon's life and career, full of triumph and success, followed by jail time and controversies that made Jon Jones the most unique character in the sport. At only 20 years old, Bones made his MMA debut on April 12, 2008, and during a 3-month period, he bulldozed through opposition by dismantling his first 6 opponents effortlessly. Capture this. He fought 3 opponents in April alone, and none of them survived to hear the final bell. He quickly appeared on the UFC's radar, and they could simply not ignore such talent. In less than 4 months since he put on his MMA gloves for the first time, Jon Jones made his UFC debut on August 9, 2008, against Andre Gusmão, who was an undefeated prospect at the time. The Brazilian tasted defeat for the first time as Jones dominated him to a unanimous decision victory. In his next fight, instead of giving him a warm-up fight that could help him climb, Jon was already given a legend of the sport, Stephan Bonnar. Despite Bonner's tons of experience, he was outclassed by the rising star, giving the judges no headache to decide who was the winner. Rest in peace, Stephan Bonnar. After squeezing the life out of Jake O'Brien, Bones was matched against Matt Hamill next. Jones ragdolled Hamill around the cage, dislocating his shoulder in the process. Bones proceeded to use a heavy artillery of elbows, including a few 12-6 elbows, which are not allowed in a fight. Hamill managed to block all the strikes with his head, subsequently winning the fight due to Jon being disqualified. The rising contender tasted defeat for the first time.
Referee Steve Mazzagatti has called a stop to this contest due to intentional elbows.
And it wasn't a classic loss as one would imagine. On the other hand, this was the overture of true love between the referee in that fight, Steve Mazzagatti, and the UFC president, Dana White. To this day, this remains the sole loss on Jon's record. In 2019, Dana disclosed ongoing efforts to appeal to the Nevada State Athletic Commission to have the result changed to a no contest. This minor setback did not prevent Jones from eyeing to achieve his goal. In his next 2 fights against Brandon Vera and Vladimir Matyushenko, he showed why his elbows are as deadly as an M16 automatic rifle. On February 5, 2011, Bones was back in action against Ryan Bader, a powerful wrestler and a future 2-division Bellator champion. However, Bader's wrestling against Jones was as useless as a prime minister in North Korea, as after a few grappling exchanges, Jon gave him the option to tap or nap. This spectacular victory not only earned him a submission of the night bonus, but it also catapulted Jones's name straight to the title shot. However, winning the light heavyweight title was a high mountain to climb. And on top of that mountain was MMA legend Mauricio Hua. Prior to this, Mauricio Hua showcased his skills in Pride FC, where he won the Pride middleweight and light heavyweight titles. Jon started the hunting season with a vicious flying knee that hurt the champion early in the fight. From there on, the fight was a one-sided pounding, and Jones was the one swinging the hammer. Jon put Hua out of his misery in the 3rd, becoming the youngest champion in UFC history at 23. Nobody could even come close to earning that achievement, and now, over 12 years later, this record hasn't been broken yet. In his first title defense, Bones was scheduled to face Rampage Jackson, an MMA powerhouse with unmatched power in his hands. Nevertheless, Jon forced the tap in the 4th round, but his next opponent, Lyoto Machida, was not that lucky since Bones put him to sleep earlier than bedtime that night. The champ manhandled Rashad Evans next before he was matched against another legend of the sport, Vitor Belfort. Even today, people wonder how Jones survived the tight armbar that Vitor pulled off on him. The Brazilian was trying to take Jon's hand home with him, Yet he withstood the pressure and proceeded to dominate Vitor before snatching his arm in the fourth. Jon ran through the gangster from Oregon, Chael Sonnen, before he was locked in the cage against Alexander Gustafsson, who had a record of 15-1 up to that point. They jumped headfirst into a slugfest, and an all-out war broke out. Both fighters decided to go out without a bulletproof vest and a helmet, delivering a fighting spectacle for the fans. In the end, Jon had his hand raised victorious again, breaking the record for the most consecutive UFC light heavyweight title defenses. Not only was this awarded a fight of the night, but also a fight of the year in 2013. As you can see, Jon Jones was never shy of going to war, and the fight against Gustafsson was proof that he had the heart of a lion. Jon Jones proceeded to dominate, destroying Glover Teixeira in his own domain, but it was around this time when most of Jon's controversies started. During a UFC 178 promotional event on August 4, 2014, tensions ran high between Jones and Daniel Cormier. In a face-off on stage, Jones pressed his forehead against Cormier's, and Cormier pushed back in response. The situation escalated, leading to Jones throwing a punch. Emotions were definitely running high at that moment. Their rivalry culminated the following year in the cage when the two were locked to settle the score. Despite Cormier being an Olympic wrestler, Jon Jones treated him like a freshman, out-wrestling and beating him in his own game. Cormier fought well, but Jon showed him why there are levels to this game, and the outcome of this competitive clash was decided by the judges, raising Jones's hand victorious. The altercation with Cormier was just the overture of a chain of legal troubles in which Jones was about to be involved. He was supposed to face Anthony Johnson next, but another accident stripped him of the title. Jones was involved in a hit and run and allegedly ran a red light, causing a collision and injuring a pregnant woman in another vehicle. Jones fled the scene, but later returned to grab cash from his rental car before leaving again. Charges against him were escalated to a felony due to the injuries and fleeing the scene. Oh, and this wasn't the only time Jon had issue with the boys in blue, as you can see from this video.
Do you have anything in your pockets, man?
What did I do?
Is it okay if we
What did I do? I'm a prison officer. I hate you.
After cutting the brakes of Ovince St. Preux, Jones was scheduled for a rematch against Daniel Cormier. The Olympian mocked Jones by calling him a junkie due to testing positive for cocaine prior to the first time they met. But Jones, as cool as a cucumber, was not defensive at all and responded to him in the best possible way.
What's this guy gonna do? What's this guy gonna do to mess this up this time?
Prostitutes. Prostitutes. I beat you after a weekend of cocaine.
And prostitutes. Wait.
Jeez.
I thought that first time was the first time you did cocaine.
I had
So wait, you had been doing cocaine.
I had two.
Okay, I get your super
I had
drugs.
two great
Congratulations.
They started the bout competitively, but Jones crow-copped the Olympian to the head as the fight progressed, before mauling him into oblivion. However, this turned out to be a bittersweet moment for Jones, as he was involved in another controversy. Shortly after dismantling Cormier, some not-so-great news came out about Jones. He was found to have used an anabolic steroid called Turinabol in a test taken on July 28th, just a day before his rematch with his rival. The California State Athletic Commission changed the result of his fight with Cormier to a no contest because of the positive drug test. Jones had no option but to give up his precious once again, which was returned to Cormier. It wasn't a good turn of event for Jones, as it was the beginning of more failed drug tests. Before the big UFC 200 event, banned substances were found in his urine, and his third showdown against Cormier was canceled. The fans were disappointed again, especially his opponent Cormier, considering how hard he trained to avenge his losses to Jones.
Oh man, it's so hard.
I know, I'm so fucking sorry.
Like, is there anything I can do? Like, I'll sign a release and we can just fight.
Can't do it.
Eventually, it was confirmed that he didn't intentionally take the banned substances, but still got a 1-year suspension. Tough break. All these controversies surrounding Jones's name could tarnish someone's career forever, but Jones always found a way to prevail over everything and continue with his domination in the octagon. Finally, in 2018, Jones returned to action against Alexander Gustafsson, and this time, the champ had no intention of taking prisoners, as he bombarded Gustafsson's head with missiles, forcing the referee to jump in for the rescue. He comfortably dismantled the next 3 opponents and won the bouts on the judges' scorecards, but Jones' motivation seemed elsewhere. On February 8, 2020, after defending the title against Dominic Reyes, Jon Jones stepped down from the sport until further notice. Jones announced that he was moving to heavyweight, and for the next 3 years, he was building his body to fit among the big guys. The task was challenging, as he had to gain an additional 40 pounds, and all of that without compromising his muscle mass and agility. On March 4, 2023, he was matched to lock horns against Cyril Gane, an elite kickboxer who shut the lights off Derek Lewis and Tai Tuivasa prior to this bout. However, Jon Jones showed Gane that there are levels to this game by making him look like a fish out of water. Early in the first, Jones pulled off a beautiful guillotine choke, making the French fighter lay down there, shocked in disbelief at what just happened. The UFC heavyweight division has a new sheriff in town, and his name is Jon Jones. Jon Jones stands as a titan in the world of MMA. His journey through glory and controversy is nothing short of remarkable. Most recently, by winning the UFC heavyweight belt, he marked a new chapter in his illustrious career and remains a force to be reckoned with, etching his name in the annals of MMA history. Thanks for tuning in to today's video featuring Jon Jones. If you enjoyed watching and want more content like this, why not show some love with a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button? Join us on our journey to 1,000 subscribers. Remember, each subscription brings us one step closer to our goal. Let's do this together.